Laptop open on the counter, cold compiling, toast pops hot, phone keeps buzzing, group chat screaming.
Welcome to Neo Notebook, the podcast dedicated to the MacBook Neo. Join us, a panel of real users, podcasters, tech-savvy computer consumers, and we will dig into the latest hands-on experiences in everything this remarkable little machine can do. I'm Marty, an associate professor in academics, using the machine for that purpose, and a longtime Apple enthusiast based in the Midwest.
I am Dave Ginsburg. I'm the host of the In Touch with iOS podcast with a deep passion for technology, especially Apple, and kind of sort of the Neo at this point, and how it's used in real-world environments.
I'm Eric Bolden. I worked in IT. I have a passion for finding creative ways to share content. Currently, photography of plants, birds, panoramic sequences, and food.
Yeah, and Brett couldn't join us today. He emailed me earlier and said Easter has kind of taken over his life today with family and visitors. And so I said, we'll see you next week. Don't worry. I appreciate y'all joining me on the show tonight, being part of this. It's been a quiet Easter in our household, and I kind of like that. Quiet kind of holiday. I can putter around all day with podcasts and such. Yeah,
we went to a Greek restaurant for Easter today. So if you've been to Greek Islands in Chicago, that's a great place. And,
well, that's no. And what? Anything else, Dave?
Oh no, yeah. That's all I was going to say. But that was my day.
Yeah, I've been puttering around with podcasts and Ecamm and setting things up and avoiding work email and creating lists of things to do and taking naps. So it's sort of work a little bit, putter around a little bit. I think I got 2 naps in today, 2 good naps in today. So that's what the holidays should be for anyways. Hey, we have got some news, surprisingly quite a bit of news. And all of these links will be in the show notes for folks that want to follow up on it. I'm not sure we're going to get to all of it, so we might just kind of cover topics and then move on, but you'll find support articles in the show notes of both the video version of this episode and also the audio version of the podcast. So look for links in there to follow up on some of these articles. Let's start with the first one, which is an article that was a review that was kind of from an independent UK reviewer, and he offers a non-enthusiast perspective of it. I reviewed the MacBook Neo. It'll change cheap laptops forever, and this was in trusted reviews, and the verdict. He was surprised. He was pleasantly surprised. He didn't expect to enjoy it, but he did enjoy it. Of course, bringing up the 8 gigabyte memory could be an issue over time. And and the other thing I like is how come they didn't put Touch ID in the base version? You know, I had to pay an extra $100 for Touch ID and twice the storage, you knucklehead. But you know, those are
supposed to be towards education. That's why.
Yeah. So anyway, talks about Windows machines and Chromebooks books are going to be problems with this. Talks about all the different areas, design and aspects of the limited amount of ports, the screen. And then performance of software with the chip. And it talks about some test data across different MacBooks, including the MacBook Neo. Battery life, and then an up or down should you buy it. So that was one article. Another article in that same area was, I stress tested Apple's $599 MacBook Neo with Lightroom and 8K video. Here's what happened. Well, here's what happened, Jim. You were stress testing with 8K video. What would you expect would happen?
Yeah.
it slowed down. It had problems, and he brought it to its knees.
Well, what a surprise.
Yeah, I know. Smooth for basics, slower for heavy lifting when it comes to Lightroom.
Not his intent.
Yeah. So you also notice the Neo takes longer to import images. Yeah. Editing
I can't
4K
help.
files, but AK brings it to its knees.
I can't help laughing.
Yeah. Can I say that the guy's got a massive chin beard? Is it permissible for me to say that?
Sure, why
I
not?
think I just did. Yeah. Eric, any comments on this with regard to the video portion of it?
Oh, I'm sorry. I got totally distracted by the chin beard. She hadn't brought that up. What were we talking? Oh, yeah. No, I guess I don't mind having a review like this because evidently somebody always has to do it. It certainly isn't the target market, but the really kind of interesting thing is, sure, it's a little bit slower, but a lot of the stuff actually ran. So if you are a student trying to learn something and just try it out, you should be able to try it out.
Yeah.
You should be able to, your video editing, you should be able to do that too. Are you going to be able to do 8K high end? No, or at least not at quick turnaround times. But if you've got a job where you need to do that, they will give you a faster laptop. So yeah,
Yeah.
it doesn't make sense to be doing this, but it's not like it's impossible given enough time.
Yeah, we have a bunch of articles sort of grouped under performance and stress testing, and this is one that I would consider a stress test article. Then some other ones. MacBook Neo is just fine with 4K video editing and 59 Chrome tabs.
Yikes.
Yeah, it was fine. There's 9 to 5. This is a 9 to 5 Mac article.
Yeah, Ben Lovejoy, he's a good writer.
Yeah, with 59 tabs open, Chrome tabs open. So this one I thought was good too. I got a MacBook Neo to run Xcode. Results were surprising, and that it can run Xcode. Yeah. Talks about the benchmarks and again, pretty cool. And along the same sort of benchmark questions, this goes into competing platforms. So anyways, the benchmarks and performance look pretty good across board, what you would expect, even better than what you would expect. But if your goal is to kind of go in and see what I can do to crash this thing and throw everything at it in the kitchen sink, you're going to succeed in doing it. And then you can do the I told you so sort of all you want. Happy dance.
People.
Yeah. Yeah. So go ahead and go back to your Dell. Or insist on getting your Pro. Yeah.
It has been interesting to me the number of people that have gone in thinking I'll just open up a bunch of tabs and it will stop working, who have been surprised to find out, yeah, it still goes through. Yeah, there's some things maybe I won't import 80 gigabytes worth of images and go and try and edit them all at the same time. But if I've got to, pull a few images off my camera and get some work done, yeah, that works. So I've just been surprised at the amount of stuff they've thrown at the Neo where it has finished it.
Yeah.
And to me, that just says if you're going to be learning some new thing on the Neo, you can. If you decide you're going to do it a lot, yeah, you might have to upgrade. But you certainly can try all kinds of stuff.
Yeah, so I'm wondering when this sort of let's challenge it is going to die down. When
Never.
people get tired of writing articles about it or getting YouTube, clicks on it. We have a couple of questions tonight that we'll address that I've gotten from people in Mac user groups wanting to know about it, and we'll get to that and some other testing that we've done this week, just because we're starting to run different apps through it that we have added now that we've gotten the system going and running the way we want it. A few more articles. This falls into more of the comparison. Let's compare it with competing platforms. An article, Why I Won't Upgrade My Aging Chromebook to a MacBook Neo in 2026.
I can't. These are just laughable.
Because they're waiting. Let me guess. They're waiting for more memory. It's a love song to Chromebooks in this article.
I mean, they kind of have a point, but that's sort of always a point. Oh my gosh, in the future, there's going to be a desktop version of Android, and the desktop version of Android might work with my Android phone better than if I get a Neo now. And
Yeah.
and it mostly would work, but there might be something better in the future. So I'm going to wait. And I'm not going to have a good solution. I'm going to suffer with a really slow machine because something else may come along that's infinitely better. That's really what he's saying.
I have tons of people like that in my Mac user group.
Oh yeah.
And if you follow the Reddit comments are always things like, well, if you just wait for the next thing, the next time the next thing comes out, you'll just wait for the next thing. And
Exactly.
you'll never get the next thing,
Nope.
So
Yeah.
And to a degree, these guys are all retirees, but at the same time, they got money. It's just that they're on a limited income and don't want to go into spending more around that. So
I think I'm going to do. I have a really low end Chromebook, believe it or not, that I think I spent like $100 on it. It was ridiculously low price. It was just really a crappy Chromebook. So I just played with the platform just to understand. Put these next to each other, and that what's going to happen. I know what the results are going to be. I mean, performance is going to be beyond any equal of what it is. I mean, I know there are some Chromebooks out there with the newer models that they're a little faster, but being they're more or less web-based computers that just don't store much. They do have some storage, but it's more caching than it is storing. It's like it's a whole different world with Chromebooks. I mean, that's what they do. Google thinks that that's a good way for the education market to be working. Yes, the education market does use Google Workspace, and they do store on the cloud. And yeah, if you think about it, back in the old days, a lot of times even companies would terminal into their systems using the front end. After some points, it was just a terminal device, like a dumb terminal.
mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then that's like digital. If you remember that company, that was the massive digital logging in through it, just using a terminal.
Yep.
But then I got to my company in 2000, and they were terminaling in using Windows 95. So I was like, what's that? I mean, these compact Presario desktops or whatever the hell they were, cracked me up. I mean, holy crap, why would you want to do that? Well, that's because everybody was so behind the eight ball. Well, that's going back in some history. But my point is just Chromebooks are this is this huge opportunity for Apple. Apple was dominant in the education market, as we know, for many years prior in the 70s, 80s, and then it just dropped. But I think this is a comeback waiting to happen.
Yeah. Hey, we've got an active chat room, and I haven't had that window open, but I do notice
Oh, yeah, we do.
Brian 8944 is in there. We
Brian
also have
Flanagan Arthurs.
yeah, and Peter Emery and Max Steve F7F, who is raising a question that I think we've got in our show notes, and I think either Eric or David put some notes in it. So, but Brian says basically with Android and with Chromebooks, I think it has a lot to do with the ecosystem. My wife is an Android phone user too. She likes the Neo, but won't give her more benefits than being in the. There won't be any benefits from being in the Apple ecosystem, and it says so. That's why she's interested in keeping her aging Chromebook. So that's good notes from Brian, and we are going to talk about. Max Steve's question about curious about using Neo as a remote desktop and how to go ahead and do that. So let's see what else we have with news. Anything? There was quite a few articles in terms of why Apple is doing this from a market standpoint, which I thought was good. And actually, one came out about it. From, of all great news sources, iPhone in Canada. And
I'm in my feed. I look at it once in a while.
yeah, and according to this report, memory costs were so sharp. Apple, however, is taking the opposite approach. Instead of retreating, the company has launched the MacBook Neo and talks about vertical integration, product strategy, and streamlining the supply chain for them to be able to approach that. And then this article in Mac Daily News, which was, I saw it as a rumor last week, but Apple ramps up MacBook Neo production to 10 million units as the new laptop sells out rapidly. There's been some chat going on in our text back and forth. Who was it? Dave, did you go to the store to pick up?
I did.
Yeah.
I did.
Why don't you share that?
Yeah, so what I was actually excited the fact that my sister-in-law decided to finally upgrade her Mac because she had a MacBook Pro 16-inch 2015. Ouch. And it's the only running Monterey, and yeah, it's a little long in the tooth because she went to put in the serial number and it says, have some fun recycling this laptop. It isn't worth anything. But she might, who knows, she might get lucky. Somebody might buy it on eBay. I said, sure. Maybe you might get lucky. Maybe get.
So she's gonna. You're encouraging you to be an eBay scam artist, is what you're saying?
No, she just her sister, my sister-in-law's, lists a lot of things on eBay. So hey, you just throw it out there, give it a shot. You'll be honest what it is. But anyway, go off tangent here. But so she went and she decided to purchase a MacBook Air. I got her the M5, and I told her, get it with 24 gigs of RAM and the 1 terabyte. I thought this was a good choice, and it'll hold her out for a long time. And she does a lot of design, graphics, that kind of stuff. So I thought the storage was very smart. I mean, that's what I have on my MacBook Pro, M5 Pro. So I went in and picked it up for her, and I asked the lady as I was waiting, I saw, how many MacBook Neos do you have? And yeah, it looks like we only have maybe a few 256 models in stock, no 512s at all. And I said, I am not surprised about that because that's the more popular model. I'll spend $100 any day to go with that 512 model with Touch ID. But again, I bring it to that point. The base model is going to be aimed towards education, or it's going to be aimed towards somebody who doesn't care about space. It might be just like a good simple laptop to have and doesn't care about the space because it's 8 gigs of RAM regardless of which model you buy. So, but there's no need for a Touch ID in the education market. That's bottom line. So, but that's what that's what they said, that the stock was very low. But this is interesting to see. I had a feeling that Apple was going to start ramping it up because they're seeing some huge demand, and I think you showed in the notes that it's pushed out for at least 3 to 4 weeks now. When they're going to arrive. So,
yeah, and I'm not allowed within 300 yards of an Apple store. So I'm glad you get over there, because if I go in an Apple store, my bank card starts to cry, literally tears.
I resisted this time. I bought nothing because I
Yeah.
enough laptops right
But
now.
it sounds like you and Eric get over to them more than I do with that. So it's good to have that
for somebody. I wasn't going to plan on going there for a while.
I'll go for
myself,
somebody else. I promise I'll go for somebody else. Some other cool articles. This comes from, I hate to say it, Tom's Guide.
Tom's Guide's okay. I always tease.
Yeah. Why does the Neo exist in the first place? Framework CEO tears down the Mac Apple Neo and brilliantly pinpoints why Apple made the $599 laptop. So it's a good article if you want to kind of get into that thought of why it fits in the market area. And, this came out this week. I've got to go back to, and I still haven't, this came out, I think, last week, but I've got to come to the April Fool's joke that happened last week, which was, you had me going, Dave. Dave texted me an image that said
from their email.
Yeah. And it's Apple is going to call back all Neos. And this was an iFixit practical joke. They are known for doing April Fool's jokes. Apparently they have a history, because I started to search. And they said that basically the reason Apple was recalling them because it had a severe design flaw. They figured out that it was too repairable for an Apple product. Yeah, and when I was like, "Oh, yeah, that's right. It's April. I got it," because I thought, God, what are we gonna talk about on this show on this Sunday? But Apple's recall.
Still, they rated it 6 out of 10, so it wasn't a perfect repairable score, but it's better than some of the other ones.
Yeah, it is.
Much.
It is. It's and we'll leave that article in there for folks to see it. But but it is. I mean, iFixit said MacBook Neo is the most repairable MacBook in 14 years. Basically because it has screws on the back, and they're not there for just looking good. So let's see. Another article came out, just after we did our show last week. These are my favorite MacBook Neo accessories after 1 month. It's a 9 to 5 article, and talks about, actually that ultra slim Satechi's mouse, M1 mouse. That's what I carry in my case now for the MacBook Neo, because I'm really trying to not carry heavy stuff. And I do have one of those, but it's a wireless version of it, and am using that as a mouse, which is pretty cool. But there's some good suggestions in there. And there's another article by Tom's Guide. I just bought a MacBook Neo. These are 15 accessories that make this budget laptop feel supercharged. This article feels a little clickbaity. Here are some people who bought sponsorship in this.
I'm sure
they're not really reviewed. They're just kind of put up there. So, yeah. Anyway, let's see what else as we get to the end of the articles. Oh, this is my favorite. This has really got to be my favorite.
Bag and Tosh. with the same font of the old Macintosh too.
Yeah. Eric,
nice bag. It's kind of crazy.
You're up, Eric, on this one.
I always liked the Mac purse, so I actually ordered one of the bags, and I'll wait and see. I think I got a blue one. And I was trying before the show. I was trying to go find one of the old MacBooks because I have one somewhere. So, but before my bag comes in, I will go search through the archives and pull one out so that we can show it.
Oh,
But another way to add colors, and it's kind of perfect. Although it's much better for people who remember back to the old machines. Maybe new users will just like the colors.
I don't know.
Interesting. They obviously couldn't use the Apple logo, and it doesn't have a bite out of the apple.
It doesn't have a bite out of it. That's right.
Yeah.
I was looking for the men's section on this website.
Oh my God! No way!
The
I'm going
men's
to walk around
department.
with that
I
bag.
couldn't find it. It's a little bit too much for me.
Yeah, me as well.
I mean, I would have to be in Max Stock. I could probably get away with that at Max Stock.
Well, but you still get some.
Yeah, why did you buy that? Why did you pay that amount?
We should just do that for fun. It's $40.
Eric, you do, Eric.
I'll bring it along. I may yet pick up a Neo that's in pink, because for me it just looks like a slightly darker gray or a slightly darker silver because I can't see the red. It's just so hard to get one right now. Otherwise, I probably already have one.
Yeah, I might go for the Bagintosh sleeve. That I think I could pull off.
Yeah, I saw the sleeve. Yeah.
Does it come in multiple colors though?
No, it's just that blue.
It's just that blue. Oh.
Yeah.
Everybody wants the full purse.
Not everybody.
I really should go.
Let's be real clear on that. Not
That's the
everybody.
price for a sleeve though. $40. Oof.
Before Max Stock, I should go rent a Teletubbies outfit, and then I can come dressed as a Teletubby with my little purse thing. Be all set. Evidently, you do not watch Teletubbies.
No, I didn't. Brian says, cool throwback style bag of the old G series laptops. Yeah.
Yep.
The problem is, Brian, only you and I and a few of us would get that. And Peter Emery says, my first Mac laptop was a G3 iBook. I had a neat neoprene sleeve I used with it. So glad this is bringing back, Bagintosh is bringing back memories for folks.
Oh my God.
Article on Lifehacker, which I think is a good article. 10 hacks every MacBook Neo owner should know.
They always have good stuff.
Some things about optimizing RAM storage. Pick up an external SSD to expand your storage.
Of course.
Pair your Apple Watch for easy unlocking. Activity monitor, kill demanding apps. Just a good article from Lifehacker on that. That, of course, all of these in the show notes with links. Here's from Tech Radar, 7 settings to change your new MacBook Neo that'll get it up and running in record time. So things that you should be able to do. And this article, how to connect 2 or more external displays to an M1, M2, M3, M4, or M5 MacBook or Neo. Or Neo. This is coming out of Macworld. So yeah, I'm sort of at a loss on this because if you follow Reddit, there are a lot of people who are trying to do this, and you read through their setups and their displays, and it's sort of like, well, this is sort of a virtual display that I'm putting on this monitor. It's not and they're using software to be able to jack it over to multiple monitors. It doesn't have the same feel. It's like they're trying to force the machine to do something it's really not ready to do or was intended to do. Peter Emery talks about Display Link.
Yeah,
I'm
not a fan of Display Link at all. I mean, I've managed it for years in the corporate world, and it's just it requires external software. because we had to be using travel monitors. They were Asus travel monitors that required a display link in order for them to even work. Period. On a PC, so it's just not great software, in my opinion. But it does manage multiple displays, but not so great.
Yeah. So if you want to kind of hack further into this, the article says the solutions below, however, allow for more than 2 external displays on plain M1, M2 Macs and MacBook Neo plus M3 Macs with their lids open if you want it.
Right.
So there are some potential solutions that are in a workaround. Here's the thing: in a workaround, install display link software drivers. So it's a lengthy article relative from Macworld on how to do that if you want to do that. That the answer to the question we didn't know people really had: how to get student discount on a MacBook Neo, the complete 2026 guide. I love that. It really needs the subtitle, the complete 2026 guide. Have there been incomplete guides out there? Is there going to be a guide that's coming in 2027? Anyway.
Well, I can tell you my experience.
Yeah.
I just went to the education site, made the purchase, went and picked it up. No questions asked.
Yeah, I think part of the problem with that is folks are going into the store and expecting to get it. You can do
won't.
that. Yeah, you can do that online.
Yep,
But
that's why I did it.
and I remember when I first used it, there was a confirmation function in it. Like
There was.
I had to put in my university. And since then, I haven't had that problem. That has been associated with my university ID or my Apple ID. So
Right.
I can purchase on that if I want to purchase on it. It's only going to be computers. It's not going to be phones and other stuff.
They don't discount for that stuff.
And they do. I remember because I did this a long time ago when you could get a discount in the store. I brought my faculty ID with me, and they were like, "Have you bought more than 2 computers on this year?" I'm like, "No."
Right.
So there were that kind of limits. Eric, you mentioned something about that in our discussion.
Yeah, the place where I've seen it occur is because people are having problems getting the Neo. They were ordering it online and then checking with the store and maybe ordering in multiple places. And you can get a situation where you've got too many orders out there and then you can't order because you're over the limit. So you want to be a little bit careful about ordering and then canceling and then switching to something else, especially if you're trying to get more than one.
Yeah, because it hasn't been kind of the fact that you canceled it, it doesn't see it yet.
It takes a while.
So it says you're over the limit with it.
Yeah.
So some
and then I also have to say at least the Apple store I go to, you can do education just fine, but they run into problems if they're running really low on inventory because it's different pools of inventory. And so when they're running really, really low, then you have to just order it.
Right.
Yeah.
Or if they're
online. Yes. Yeah. But once they catch up, and hopefully within a month or so, then that should become easier again.
I just wait. I'm not that impatient.
I'll tell you, you might want to get a Bagintosh, but what I want to get is a little Finder Guy mascot.
Nice.
I want a little Finder Guy. There he is.
Yeah. Oh, I want that.
Sort of he's in a yoga position. That's pretty cool. A couple of articles on how the little Finder Guy is.
Can you buy it?
Pardon?
Where can you buy it?
I don't know. I'm going to have to look that up. I bet you by now somebody's got it in eBay. Or not eBay, Etsy. I bet you Etsy. Somebody's done something with it in Etsy.
That's right. Find a little Finder guy with the Apple. Oh, Apple did it on TikTok video. Got it.
Yeah, it was TikTok videos, and I haven't spent time on TikTok because my brain is already dripping, and I don't need more of that.
Dripping.
Yeah, it's just dripping. It's just Reddit makes my brain drip sometimes. I mentioned that on another show that we had a power outage here. I spent my early morning doom scrolling on Reddit, and then we had a power outage, and I couldn't use my desktop computer because the internet was out. So the only thing I could do was continue to doom scroll for the rest of the morning. Too much of that, and so I'm not a TikTok user. I'm not even sure I have a TikTok account. But this guy apparently is very popular, little Finder guy, and I'll be on the lookout to see if I can get one in a action figure box. That would be very cool. A couple of articles on how MacBook Neo ads have the little Finder guy. Oh, and he's got a megaphone on one. That's really cool. And he's in a director's chair. Okie dokie. I think this was an article that you put, I think, Eric, you put up. It was a Reddit post and a person talking about how they're in love with the functionality of the Neo and how it's the perfect size for European train travel. And I guess it has to do with the desk space. That's about it. Didn't take up much space, surfed my phone's hotspots. Just a post on that. And then finally, go ahead.
Have you tried it on an airplane yet?
No, I haven't been on an airplane. I might just buy a round ticket just to get on an airplane to play with tech. Fly to Chicago, pick up a game, come back home.
Let us know how it goes.
My son and I do Gear Up and Go, and he's traveled more in the last 6 months than I probably traveled in 2 years. Plane travel, I should say. Yeah.
It might be cheaper to just send him a Neo versus buying a ticket.
True.
Yeah. We have a healthy competition when it comes to technology. And then finally, and we kind of talked about this, then we'll get into some of the questions that folks have and other things that we've tested. For those of you wondering why it takes 2 to 3 weeks to get a Neo, selling at record pace forces Apple to double production. We had an article on that.
Yeah.
Apple can also afford to sell these at a loss. Their hope is to recoup much of it with Apple Care and subscriptions. But even if they don't lose, Go ahead, Eric.
Apple never sells anything at a loss.
Yeah. Yeah. Even we've got a couple of good articles. There's a comment about the educational discount from Mac Steve. Education discount, ask for a school name. I'm a homeschool instructor for my grandson, but no go. Years ago, I got a homeschool discount, so that's changed for his ability to do that. And then Brian, I'm a K through 12 educator, and I love the EDU discount. Fist shake, though, on the Creator Studio only getting a college university EDU discount, not K through 12. That's interesting. I didn't know that, Brian, that you can't get the EDU discount on K through 12, but it's only college university. So,
Interesting.
Still a good deal without it, but better deal with it. All right. So let's get to some of the questions or stuff. I kind of moved down to the end of our show notes. This question came from Steve, and I think it's Steve who's watching the show right now. Can you use the MacBook Neo to mirror and run your Mac Mini from? Has anyone tried this, and how would you do it? All right. Someone with a better brain than mine, can you explain? Because there are some notes written in there about how to do it.
What, Eric?
Oh, so the short answer is yes, you can do it. The longer answer is there's two sides. So on the mini side, in system settings, under general, there's a sharing section, and you can turn on remote management, which then lets you from your Neo in the Finder go under the Go menu in the Finder, connect to server, and then you type VNC : / the name of your mini, and then say connect. It'll ask you for your username and your password, and then your mini screen should show up.
So those notes we've got some of those notes in our show notes, and a sort of a how-to on how to do it. And what I'll do is include those in the show notes of the produced show. And this is something that I don't think about doing, but I know Steve was interested in this and wanted to ask about being able to mirror and run your Mac Mini from it. I think the way he put it in our Mac users group is, so I've got my Mini inside and I want to go sit out on the deck and use my Neo to run it from there. Well, it was like 42 degrees outside today, and so I don't think he was thinking of sitting out on his deck today. So he's got time to play with it if he wants to play with it. And we got a thumbs up from that. So thanks with that. And then I got a note that came up from Peter Emery. I bought my Neo a week before getting my iPhone 17e, yet both had complimentary Apple Care expiring on the same day. So interesting. I went ahead and when I buy it, I just go ahead and do the Apple Care with it. And the confusing part is then I get notices telling me my Apple Care is expiring, but it's not really expiring.
Right.
And last time when I went through a series of purchases, I called into Apple and they're like, I said, I thought I paid for this. Oh, yeah, you did. Just ignore that. That's for people who haven't bought it yet. And I'm like, it's pretty sure you know I bought it because it's under the same Apple ID. Yeah.
Oh, well.
So, okay, other stuff. Running Omni, for me, running Omni Group apps. I've been able to run Omni Group's apps pretty successfully. I now have it, at least Omni Focus opens up automatically when I start the machine because that's my current flavor of the month for doing to-dos on it and trying to use that. I've got some writing projects that are coming up in the next couple of months. And so I hope to use Omni Plan and use that to kind of structure when I'm going to get done. I have like 5 pieces I have to get done in 3 or 4 months. And so I'm going to try and structure that using Omni Plan so I get a chance to play with it. And of course it syncs all through the cloud. So whatever I do on whatever machine will be able to work with that. So, that's sort of what I've been doing. Dave, you have talked about Parallels Desktop.
Yeah, we mentioned at the end of the show last week, but I have had some time to play with it some more, and I must say it runs very, very efficiently. It loads up very quickly. It signs in, no problem. I'm able to do basic functions. I can run Office products. I even tried some Adobe products that seemed to be okay. Again, it's in a virtual environment, so you have to kind of anticipate you're going to have some lag. But it's for those of you who need to have the Windows environment, because sometimes you got to run programs that aren't really available on the Mac. As well as I like to play around that. I've been a Parallels subscriber for forever. I mean, it's got to be 15 years easy. I've seen it evolve over the years, and it was not so great in its early years, but it's really gone a lot better now. For this version 26 that's out now, and coincidentally, they've put their versioning just like Apple. It really is running well. I've had it running on a Mac Mini. I've run it on a MacBook Pro, and I'm very impressed. I mean, not only am I virtualizing Windows, you can virtualize Mac OS. I've got older versions of Mac OS all the way down to Sequoia, and you can even run Ventura. I think that's about the oldest one you go. You used to do Monterey, but it's not really, and nor would you even want to run that. But at least on a silicon based processor. The old days when they was running on Intel, you were able to go way back. I mean, I was running Lion, and that was about the farthest you can go, because Snow Leopard and Leopard weren't compatible to that for how old those were. But sometimes, developers want to still look back and see where they're at. Same thing with the Windows. You can't run Windows 10 on a silicon-based processor, so you're only in the Windows world. You have to do Windows 11. There's no way around that. But you also have Linux-based distros available too. And I only tried Windows 11 on the Neo, and hey, that's the biggest pig. I guess would be a good word for it. the way Microsoft manages things for its efficiencies, but but it's working. Got really good, really well when it comes to that. So I'm very impressed. So those of you who are interested, go to parallels.com. I mean, check it out. I believe they have a trial. You can try it out, see how it goes. There's so many other VMs out there. I know VMware probably has a free version that you can do, but you need a little bit of expertise how to set it up. I've found that to be a little more complicated. But Parallels works really well. And the nice thing with Parallels, you can go in and set it up, put in your license key, and you can download the Windows right away. They've got a link that it's a Parallels version, more or less. Let you download it. You got to purchase a key, a Windows 11 key in order for it to be activated. But they do have it in demo mode, so you can try it out for a little bit before it'll start complaining, and then it may lock you out after time. So. But that's what sometimes people do. They want to just do some testing. I mean, I've been able to install server version on there and try that out, so that's what's so great about it. It's just a great tool for those who need to do that. And even I run a Tahoe version. If I want to break that for when I'm testing things, go for it. You can still run Sequoia. You still can run. All the other versions, even for the previous versions, if you want to, and beat them up, and who cares? But the nice thing is it does have snapshots, so you can create a snapshot, and if you do break it, you can go back to that snapshot and like it never happened. Same thing in Windows.
Nice.
It'll do the same thing. So that's another thing. So again, it's not a tool for everybody. Not everybody probably wants to do that, but it's kind of fun to play.
Yeah, I think if I was going to do that, it would be out of curiosity. I don't think I'd want to put Windows on it. I've got a machine that runs Windows that I don't need to carry around with me to do that. I'd be interested in playing with Linux again. It's been a while since I have done anything in Linux and got a machine running Ubuntu and just
Ubuntu is probably the one that's the most they recommend. But they do have others that you can actually install that's based on. So if you want, you can go into new, and they got Ubuntu. They have Fedora Linux. They have Debian Linux, and they have Kali Kali Linux. So those are part of the free systems, because that's what you do when you want to go into Parallels and you want to do something new. It gives you the options. You have you'll go to Windows, or you can you can do Mac OS and others. So
Yeah.
it makes it kind of fun to play. I don't.
Yeah.
I need to. I like to know Linux more. I'm not a lot of. But it's become so GUI interfaced that the GUI interface is now very prevalent in Linux now. Not as much command line and terminal commands, but you still got to do them when you want it to work. I mean, let's think about it. Mac OS is really a Unix based operating system as it is. So.
Question came up. I know Eric's been trying to manage some of it in the chat room, but I'm going to throw this up and see if you know. This came from Max Steve. Are there any third-party remote desktops better than the Apple built-in process that we talked?
Apple still offers an Apple Remote Desktop in the App Store. It's a little pricey. I think he said spend like around $80 for it. That was the kind of the corporate / small business version that you could use. There are probably a couple others out there. I can't remember off the top of my head, but it's worth a try exploring that. I don't think Apple does any real consistent upgrades to it other than keeping it current. But it depends on what you're trying to do too. I mean, you want to just remote desktop into a bunch of them instead of using the because what Eric showed earlier can be a little complicated for many people if you're not IT folks like we are. It's pretty straightforward, and you can set it up. So you have to understand ports and how you connect, and like what Eric described earlier. That's probably one I would recommend.
Yeah. Okay. And there's one last piece that you wanted to share, which was about the sleeve that you got, and I'll pull it up.
I just got it right here, and it actually has a handle on it, which is kind of cool. It's not a big brand because usually the ones I buy are made by TomToc, TOMTOC.
Yeah.
Those are really great cases, and I just bought one for my MacBook Air, and this one's it's a side load, so you can just side load into it, and it just half zips across the side instead of the top like we were used to. But it does have a pocket in the front, so you can put your cable in it, and it fits the MacBook Neo perfectly. It's really nice, and it's only like what, $21?
$21. I'm showing it on the video version of this. This is a JTech laptop sleeve for MacBook Neo, and it will be again in the show notes for folks that are in the show notes. Eric, one last comment in terms of stuff that you found. Do you want to talk about Libre? I looked at the link that you sent me. I didn't put it in, but not LibreOffice.
Oh, so that was tied back to an article. Somebody had just put in a request to Neo users saying, "Hey, can I have 10 to 15 documents open at the same time?" No, a couple documents open at the same time, each one with 10 to 15 pages. And can I have a spreadsheet open with a couple of tabs and some Safari tabs open? Or will it just slow down and not work anymore? And they had kind of sent that request out. And then people have been commenting for a couple of days saying, really, you're worrying about something that isn't a problem. But then there was another user who posted a link to a YouTube video where they had LibreOffice, opened up a bunch of documents, opened up a whole pile of tabs, a bunch of LibreOffice spreadsheets, and it worked really well. They were really worried about, what would it do with memory? And the Neo handles switching from one app to the other really well, and it's not really an issue. And that kind of activity isn't so memory intensive that it's a problem.
Yeah, go ahead, Dave.
Okay. Oh, sorry. So was this installed natively on a Mac, or was this virtual?
LibreOffice?
No, it's there's an installer for it. It's a native package.
Native, that's what I figured. Yeah. I mean, there's a native installation for it. I have not dabbled much in LibreOffice. I don't know. I've been so stuck in the Microsoft ecosystem for so many years. I just don't.
If you have access to Microsoft licenses, it's not a problem. but there are a lot of people that don't have the license or don't have it anymore.
Or don't want to pay
And
for it.
Yeah.
and LibreOffice is a good option.
It's good
And there are a
alternative.
bunch of people
Mhm.
that run run that on under Linux as well. And
Right.
so you get some cross-platform, and if what you're just trying to do some documents,
Mhm.
I mean, you can use Apple's apps too, but there's more translation involved. The LibreOffice should open the documents and transfer them back and forth pretty much one-to-one.
Yeah, I load, and generally on some of my work computers I have LibreOffice on it just because I want to pretend that I can say goodbye to Microsoft someday. And so I've dabbled in it and have tried to do certain things like spreadsheets and such. The link or the Reddit link had in it like a 90-second video
Yeah,
of
it's really
running
short.
through, just like flashing and opening up multiple screens and multiple spreadsheets, opening them all up on the screen, then picking one out. I mean, it was pretty wild in terms of that. Yeah, Peter Emery says I use only Office on my Neo, so
Mhm.
maybe another opportunity there. So. Yeah, so that kind of wraps for everything we had to do. And I kept promising you guys we'd do this show in a half hour, and we always wind up doing an hour. Searching for articles on this, 953 articles this week to have to flood through. And a lot of it, and then trying to pick out the ones that would be of relevance. We will get as much of this into the show notes for you. So particularly the description of the procedures that we've talked about. So look for the show notes when the show gets finally published. Probably by midnight tonight, I'll be working and doing the editing to get both the audio and the video version of the show up. So you can come back and watch what's posted on YouTube and go through the show notes to get the information that you want out of it, or wait for the podcast version to come out. So yeah, let's find out where everybody comes from. I'm kind of watching the stuff that's going on in the chat room. Thanks to folks in the chat room. I love to have that distraction. It's sort of
Yeah.
squirrel. Max Steve's been active. Peter Emery's been active. We had Brian in there. We've had other folks who haven't posted, just by numbers I can tell, that are watching us. So we appreciate you working with us and watching that. Eric, tell us where we can find you.
I can be found on, let's see, Mastodon at EA Bolden at techhub.social. Otherwise, of course, Sunday nights here on the Neo Notebook. Mondays on Vision Profiles. Tuesdays on Mac Voices Live, although not this Tuesday. Thursdays on In Touch with iOS, kind of covering news and content throughout the week by OSs. It goes well. Yeah.
Okay,
I don't know.
Dave.
Working on it.
Oh, yes. You can find me at In Touch with iOS, intouchwithios.com. The YouTube channel is youtube.com/intouchwithios. We do talk about Mac every week too with In Touch with Mac. So those of you who are here this week, check it out. You can also find me on this show Sunday nights at the Neo Notebook, Monday nights on Vision Profiles with Marty and Eric, Tuesday nights when it's not dark, which is on Mac Voices Live. It will be dark the next 2 weeks, but we'll be back. Don't worry. Thursday we record In Touch with iOS, Friday on the Mac Show and the British Tech Network, and Mastodon, Blue Sky at Dave G65.
Okay, I realize when I go through these, where can we find you at the end? You can find us pretty much hanging out on all the shows that people have already said. So I'm not going to say it again. Tonight, this is where I am tonight with these guys. Monday night, I'm with these guys on Vision Profiles, and then the other shows, Chuck Joyner's Mac Voices, when it's not dark for the week, it's dark this week, and then with Dave's show on Thursday, and then the British Tech Network on Friday mornings when I can play hooky from work. Check out thepodtalk.net. That's my website that has this and other shows connected to it. I spent today doing some 15-minute bites. I also did a Gear Up and Go that's getting posted or has been posted. But thepodtalk.net is the link to all of the projects that I'm involved with. You can catch me at Gensius on all of the socials. If you just look for me there, you'll find me there, probably with the exception of Twitter. Although I think I'm on Twitter, but I never open it. So Mastodon and Blue Sky and Threads, you can find me there. That kind of does the wrap for the show. Follow us on the live stream on YouTube at youtube.com/@the-Neo-Notebook, Sunday nights at 9 p.m. Eastern Time, or catch the video later as I produce it and get it out on YouTube, or the audio on any podcast catcher service. Thanks for tuning in and listening to and watching the Neo Notebook. We'd love to hear from you, and from our listeners, you can always email us at thepodtalknetwork@gmail.com. Learn about more about the Neo Notebook and other shows that we do at thepodtalk.net. Spread the word to other neophyte users. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you next time.